Welcome back, Barbecue Pit Live. Watching the Contender Series. My picks are shit tonight, but we're going to give the picks to 268 anyway. Come here, buddy. 268 headlined by Usman, Covington 2, their second fight for the welterweight title. Co-main event would be Rose Namajunas versus Wale Zhang for the women's strawweight title. Card kicks off Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera. Frankie Edgar, this is his first fight back since his flying knee knockout loss to Corey Sandhagen in February. He is 24-9-1. 1-3 in his last 4 fights. In the past 2 years, he's never been submitted in his career. Got knocked out in 3 out of 9 of his losses, and he's 13-6 by decision. He's got 2 wins in the last 3 years. Decision win over Cub Swanson and Pedro Munoz, former Division I wrestler. He will be going up against Marlon Vera, who has a slight size advantage. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, also a great grappler. 17-7-1 in his professional career. 7-3 since 2018. So in that time that Edgar had won 2 fights, Marlon Vera has won 7. He's never been finished. He's got 14 wins by finish, 8 submissions, 6 knockouts. His last fight was a decision win over Davey Grant in June. He's got great grappling, submission skills. He's got good leg kicks, power in his hands. He keeps you at the end of his shots. Like I said, good at leg kicks. Good. He's got a really good jab. Frankie Edgar, predominantly a wrestler. Normally, I would say, I'm going to repeat it again. Normally, I would say great wrestling, top pressure wrestling is a kryptonite for good jiu-jitsu. But I don't think this fight gets to the ground. And I think if it does, it gets up pretty early. I think Marlon Vera is good takedown defense, and he's pretty scrappy on the ground. So I think he could create some scrambles on the ground and get back up to his feet and continue outstriking Frankie Edgar. So I'm going to go Marlon Vera there, even though I love Frankie Edgar. I wish I was going to pick Frankie Edgar here. And actually, this is like one of the fights where I hope I'm wrong. I hope Frankie Edgar somehow can wrestle and somehow knock out Marlon Vera in the later rounds, but we'll see. I got Marlon Vera there. Shane Burgos versus Billy Corantillo. Burgos 13-3, 2 out of 3 is lost via knockout. He's never been submitted in his career. Those 2 TKO losses are against Edson Barbosa and Kelvin Cater, and then the decision loss to Josh Emmett. He's 6-3 in the UFC. His wins include Makwan Americani, Cub Swanson, Charles Rosa. He's got 5 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission. Got good boxing, good chin, great cardio, all around really good fighter. He's not got the best grappling, but I don't think that's going to matter against Corantillo. Corantillo is a similar height, but we're giving up 5.5 reach disadvantage he'll have. Black belt in jiu-jitsu, 16-3, never been submitted, only been knocked out once, and that was by Michelle Quiones in 2016 prior to getting to the UFC. He's 4-1 in the UFC. Lost the decision to Gavin Tucker, and then has wins over Jacob Kilburn, Spike Carlisle, Kyle Nelson, and Gabriel Benitez. Shane Burgos got great striking, similar to Spike Carlisle. Jacob Kilburn, great all-around fighter, grappling and striking. Kyle Nelson, a great grappler. And Gabriel Benitez got that kind of Mexican fighting style where he's really, really tough. He's got great boxing, similar to Shane Burgos. So he's had experience fighting guys similar to him. He's going to come in with a significant reach disadvantage. But Billy Corantillo's got killer instinct. He's done very well for himself since getting into the UFC. And I think I'm going to pick the underdog in here, plus 170, Billy Corantillo, to defeat Shane Burgos. Even though I like Burgos too, he's from Queens and shit, but Billy Corantillo is a stand-up guy, so this might be a biased pick, but I'm gonna go Billy Corantillo there. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, the battle of the Division I wrestlers who are fucking brawlers. Justin Gaethje 22-3. This is his first fight back since the submission loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov in October of 2020, where he lost his chance to get the lightweight title. He's 4-3 in the UFC. His other 2 losses are TKO losses to Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier. He's got 19 wins by knockout. He's finished all 3 of his losses. He was finished in all 3 of his losses. He's only been to a decision twice, won both of those fights. He's got great leg kicks. He goes to war just about every fight. Great chin, cardio for days. And like we said, all-American Division I wrestler. He's got a 7-inch height advantage, but he's going to come in with the same reach. So Michael Chandler, kind of a weird-shaped frame he has, very long reach with somewhat of a shorter body, who was also a Division I wrestler, All-American, 22-6 in his professional MMA career, 10 knockouts, 7 submissions. Has never been submitted in his career, got knocked out in 4 out of 6 of his losses, though. He's 5-2 by decision. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He's got a TKO win over Dan Hooker and a TKO loss to Charles Oliveira in his most recent fight. I think that was for the vacant light heavy or lightweight title, or was it just for the vacant lightweight title? Oh, I said light heavyweight again. I meant interim or vacant title. I can't remember. I think Charles Oliveira is champion, so I want to say that was a vacant lightweight title. Chandler also great leg kicks, great wrestling, great scrambles, power in his hands. He's a scrapper. You know, he came into that fight with Dan Hooker with similar size disadvantage, and he was able to maneuver his way on the inside with head movement and land a knockout strike to Dan Hooker, who is a very good kickboxer. I think this fight is going to be a war, a 5-round, possible, bloody, no, not 5 rounds. Sorry, it's only 3 fights. Second or third round is probably going to get to if it's a finish. I don't think we're going to see a first-round finish here. I think Michael Chandler both of these guys definitely have the power to finish the fight in the first round, but both guys are very, very tough, good chins, good cardio. I think this fight gets to the later rounds. I think then it depends on who's going to implement the good game plan. You know, when it comes down to as high-level fighters as these two guys, it really comes down to who has the better game plan. So is it going to be a wrestling match? Is somebody going to come in wrestle heavy? Is it going to be a leg? Is somebody going to come in leg kick heavy? Are they going to do damage early on with leg kicks, stop the mobility of the other fighter? It really just depends. I'm going to go biased with this one again just because I'm very biased towards the UFC versus Bellator battle, and I'm going to go Justin Gaethje via decision against Michael Chandler. Co-main event, Rose Namajunas, Wale Zhang. Rose is 10-4. She knocked out Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the belt in November 2017, beat Joanna in the rematch, and then lost the belt via TKO to Jessica Andrade in 2019. She then beat Andrade in a non-title fight the next year in 2020, and that fight granted her a title fight against Wale Zhang, where she knocked her out in April to win the belt back. She's got great grappling, knockout power, of course. But I think, you know, women's MMA in those divisions, the strawweight division especially, is very up and down, man. I think it's just like football. Any given Sunday, any given day, any of these women can win. Jessica Andrade beat Rose Namajunas. Rose beat her by split decision in the rematch. Joanna beat everybody pretty much her entire career, and then lost to Rose. And then Wale Zhang beats Jessica Andrade, loses to Rose. So I mean, it's a lot of up and down. Gregory says Covington by brutal first round knockout. I think that is deathly wrong. I'm not going to spoil it and say if I picked Covington or Usman yet. I'm going to get to that in about three and a half minutes. But definitely, I'm going to do a little teaser. Not going to be a first-round finish by either man. And I think if it's a first-round finish, it's going to be by Usman, has the quicker finishing ability than Covington, who is more of a cardio, and they're both grapplers. But, I mean, Covington more or less uses, if he's going to use his striking, uses his cardio to outlast his opponent and outstrike his opponent late in the fight when his opponent starts to gas, which we all know Kamaru Usman is not going to gas. Wale Zhang, though, 21-2, 10 knockout or 10 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission, 3-0 in the UFC. Before she beat Andrade for the belt in 2019, she beat Joanna. She was 3-0 in the UFC before she beat Andrade for the belt. After she beat Andrade for the belt, she beat Joanna in her next fight, first title defense, and then lost to Rose. She also has great cardio, knockout power in her hands. I think if Rose comes in with a similar game plan as she did the first time, unless Wale Zhang comes in jacked to the teeth, just way too strong for Rose and is just able to stuff takedowns and just toss her around like a baby, I think Rose probably wins a decision here or somehow gets a knockout or something like that. But, if Weili Zhang comes in, and we've seen her just straight up overpower Jessica Andrade. She was a very, very strong woman for that division. If she comes in similar to that and can outman Rose Namajunas, just push her around, I think, it's going to end pretty early for Rose Namajunas. But, again, I guess bias, we're going to go it. I would always pick, if I'm betting, I'm always picking underdog in this weight class because anything can happen, and you make the more money picking the underdog. So, but I'm going to go Rose Namajunas in this one. She is a favorite. I'm not betting on the fight, so I'll go Rose Namajunas. Now, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman. This is what Greg was talking about. Covington has only fought once since losing to Usman, a TKO win over Tyron Woodley, which he was winning the fight in September of 2020, but the fight ended due to a rib injury. He's 16-2, been finished in both his losses. Woodley Alves by submission, and then, of course, Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman broke his jaw early in the fight, striking. So, obviously shown that he was a better striker than Covington early in their fight. Usman has defended his belt 3 times since beating Covington, twice against Masvidal, once against Gilbert Burns. His only loss was a submission loss to Jose Caceres in his second professional fight. He's 14-0 in the UFC. I think, just to touch on what I was saying earlier, man, Kamaru Usman definitely is going to be the guy that has the finishing ability early. I think Colby Covington is going to want to make it a longevity type of fight, 4th, 5th round type of fight. If it was up to Covington, both guys, I think, somewhat evenly matched grappling. So it's probably going to be just like last fight, a striking battle. But, I mean, we've seen last fight. He just got outclassed, man. Outclassed. He got hit with the harder shots. And eventually he just crumbled, man. You can't break your jaw and then get hit that many times in the face and not, it's going to do some wear and tear on your body. So I'm not saying that his jaw's, susceptible to be broken again or anything. I'm not saying I'm thinking it is or anything like that. I'm just saying I think Kamaru Usman has the sharper striking. And how did he ruin the fight? I don't really like Mark Goddard, so, I mean, I'm cool with you dissing him, but I don't remember thinking that the referee was fucking the fight up at all when I was watching it or anything. I think you might be talking about, like, the eye pokes and the fucking groin strikes and shit like that, but, I mean, it's all debatable, man. There was not any foul that was seen like clear as day that it didn't happen. If any, I think there was maybe one groin strike and the eye poke that were like close, where it was like, maybe he didn't, but it wasn't like blatant, like they put it on the replay and it's like, come on, man, you're faking it or anything like that. So, I mean, referee sees what he sees and he calls what he calls. So I don't think, and I don't remember if he took a point or not, but even if he did, Usman finished him. So, I mean, it didn't have any impact on the result of the fight. So I don't know. I don't like Mark Goddard either, but I don't think he, to what I could recall, unless you have, you can tell me something that I may be forgetting. I don't remember anything about how he ruined that fight. I think Kamaru Usman is a little bit better than Colby Covington. I think Usman it's going to be hard to beat Kamaru Usman in the UFC welterweight division. That's a division full of very exciting guys, very exciting strikers, power strikers, and the grapplers in the division, the Gilbert Burns, they're not on his level. Colby Covington, not on his level as far as grappling, so they're going to try to strike with him. And, he's a good striker. He's got power, he's got finishing ability, and he comes into every fight very, very, very much so in shape. He's done very well since moving to I don't know if he moved there or not, but he moved his camp to what's the fuck's the place called? Elevation, with Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje. I think Rose Namajunas is out there. Oh, that's fucking tight. At the last 3 fights, Trevor Whitman's going to be in the corner for the last 3 fights. It's pretty tight. But nah, man, I want to go Kamaru Usman. I don't really see any way Colby Covington has a path to victory, maybe a lucky shot. But, I mean, Kamaru Usman is very, very talented. I don't think he's going to succumb to a lucky shot. I think he's got very good defense. He's a smart fighter. He's not he doesn't get himself into silly situations or anything like that. So I'm going Kamaru Usman. Rest of the card plays out. Alex Pereira making his UFC debut against Andres Milcharas. Bobby Green against Alan Quinta. Phil Hawes versus Chris Curtis. Phil Hawes, we didn't forget that. You needed fucking 3 weeks to prepare for Chris Curtis, who's making his debut. You weren't trying to fight him on a day's notice. My man is a gangster. Day's notice, he wanted to take that fight. He said, nah, I need 3 weeks to prepare. Fucking bullshit. Edmund Shabazian versus Nazarene Amanov. Ian Gary versus Jordan Williams. John Vellante taking on Chris Barnett. That should be a very exciting fight. CJ Varga versus Odea Osborne. And then Dustin Jacoby versus John Allen. I think if I'm going to pick a sleeper fight on the prelims, it's either going to be Dustin Jacoby, John Allen, or John Vellante versus Chris Barnett. And Chris Barnett is a very, very unique, talented striker for the heavyweight division. And John Vellante used to be a very powerful striker in the light heavyweight division. But I think, if I'm remembering correctly, which I might not be, in his most recent heavyweight fight, he turned into somewhat of a grappler. His cardio isn't the best at heavyweight. So I think in his last fight, he grappled to try to, have control time, and he won a decision like that. So if he does that, I mean, it might not be the best fight. But if he goes back to his light heavyweight ways and he throws caution to the wind, I know Chris Barnett is going to definitely do that from start to finish. That could be very much so a sleeper fight on that card, on the prelims. Dustin Jacoby, just a very well-decorated kickboxer. And John Allen always puts on exciting fights. So very, very excited for this upcoming week, UFC 268. Let me see if I can pull up what is to come. Scheduled events, 268. Day after my birthday, Max Holloway versus Jair Rodriguez. That is going to be an exciting fight. I don't know about the card. Over in St. Preux, I just want to say, fights very frequently either close to where I live or around my birthday. He fought, let's see, December 5th. That's like 2 weeks after my birthday in 2020. He also fought September 5th. That's like a month and a week before my birthday. He fought in Jacksonville. That's semi-close to me. He fought in Atlanta in 2019. That's really close to me. Orlando, really close to me. I went and seen him live. Oh, no, he wasn't live. He was just there. Nashville, semi-close to me. October 8th, 2 months apart, whatever. November 4th, a week before. Over in St. Preux, fights a lot. Close to my birthday or close to my area. I like over in St. Preux. He's from Tennessee, so he's from close to here. So I could see why he's fighting around here. Everybody likes to fight somewhat home. But it's a unique stat, I guess. Shout out to Owen St. Preux. He's taking on Felipe Lenz. Hopefully he'll put him in a St. Preux choke. We'll see, though. Kyle Dawkins, Roman Delate. Delate replacing Kevin Holland, who was injured and not able to take that fight for the second time. That kind of sucks, but, is what it is. Kevin Holland will definitely be back. And I hope he gets the chance to fight Kyle Dawkins, because a lot of people were saying Kyle Dawkins was winning that fight and that Holland was going to lose anyway. But, never say that about Kevin Holland, man. He's never out of a fight ever. Until next time, guys, stay barbecued. We'll be back next Tuesday to preview the November 13th card. And you know what it is, Bo.